Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with Convery. This is the podcast that brings you insights from rising stars, emerging talent, and experienced professionals making a difference. Today, we're kicking off an exciting new series called Meet the MAC Students of UWindsor. In this series, we'll be sitting down with some of the most promising students from the Master of Applied Computing program at the University of Windsor. We'll explore their unique perspectives, hear about their innovative ideas, and their fresh energy that they're bringing to the tech world. These conversations will go well beyond the resumes and technical skills. We'll dive into what drives these future tech leaders, their visions for the industry, and their unique experiences that shapes the approach to problem solving and innovation. So whether you're a seasoned professional looking to understand the next generation of talent in tech, a student considering some careers in computing, or simply curious about the future of technology, this series promises to offer valuable insights and inspiring stories. So grab your coffee, your tea, your water, whatever you like to drink here. Join us as we get to know the bright minds that are set to shape the future of tech. So let's begin that journey with the MAC Students of UWindsor. Hello, students.
Hi,
Great.
Brian.
How are you?
Hi, Brian. How are you?
Good. How are you all? Good to hear from you. So I want to each take a few minutes to take 2 minutes, introduce yourself, tell us your name, and really seriously, like what inspires you about technology and how you got into it. So, Meet, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, sure. So I'll introduce myself first. So my name is Amit Patel, and I am right now pursuing Masters in Applied Computing at University of Windsor. So my story in this tech world starts from the seventh grade, and I was in a computer class, and the professor just bring up a small code, a piece of code that was a HTML code, and then he just wrote my name, Meet Patel, and he then showed me to a browser, and I was like, wow, I can see my name in the website. So this is a cool thing which I want to do for the rest of my life. So after that, after like my 12th grade, I was pursuing like bachelor's in computer science, and then I got a job for 1.5 years. I was working in Java, React, and Vue
Yeah.
mainly, and was making microservices in Python and Golang. And then, in order to upgrade myself with more skills and more innovations of this tech world, I'm right now pursuing my master's in computer science.
Amazing. Wow, starting at a young age. I know this
Yeah.
is good to hear. Awesome. Thanks for sharing your background there. And Dhruvi, how about you? Could you share?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I am Dhruvi Kunvarani. I am currently pursuing my master's degree in applied computing at University of Windsor. So I have around 3 years of experience as a full stack developer, and I am currently honing my skills in that background in software engineering by pursuing master's degree. So when I was a small kid, I used to code with my grandpa regarding the Arduino. He introduced me as like a tool, like a small computer, and he told me how to code it and how the basic commands like hello world and all. So based on that event, I was really inspired to pursue my career in computer science. And after that, I pursued my bachelor's degree in computer engineering and currently pursuing my master's degree. I am glad to
Amazing.
be here in this podcast.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. Good for you. Amit, how about you? Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey, I'm Amit. Again, same. I'm also pursuing Masters of Applied Computing at UWindsor. And before coming on to the tech, I tried multiple things, finances, law, and also did also tried some things in business too. But the only thing was interesting to me was from the start was law. So also did multiple Model United Nations conferences, which is a simulation of United Nations
Yeah.
conferences. And the reason I liked about the thing about law is problem solving. And then while doing law, the one thing that kicked out of me was moving to the tech. The only difference between the law and the tech is in law, we try to solve physical problems, but in tech, we try to solve conceptual problems. And those conversion of physical problem to conceptual problem is the reason why I moved to the tech and started pursuing masters of applied computing, and also specifically chosen UWindsor for this one. And that's
That's
my
awesome.
journey, moving to this from solving physical problem to conceptual problem is the reason why I choose computer sciences.
It's a great intersection of both of those and a really cool background to get involved there. So thank you all three. Very different paths to where you got, but all here today on the podcast to share a little bit about yourself. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun right now because I want to get to know a little bit about each of you a little bit more. So Amit, what do you think is your superpower?
I think it's about analyzing the needs, wants, and desires of the customers and the people around me, and try to cater to those. And that's what I'm trying to do from past 3 years, whether I'm in industry or whether I'm academically, by building projects which cater to these three aspects of a customer: wants, needs, and desires. So that's like analyzing perfectly the needs of the people and building the solution around it is what I believe is my superpower. And for that, even I did like a couple of competition and won those competition as well.
Nice, nice. So superpower analyzing and figuring out those things. So and your name's Amit, so maybe you need a big A on your chest like Superman has, right?
Yeah.
Meet, how about you? What's your superpower?
Okay, so I would like to highlight two superpowers which I have. So one is technical and one is like non-technical. Firstly, going with non-technical, not just being into this coding world and computer world, I have one more superpower, which is like I love to connect with people, and
Yeah?
I have a great experience as I was a event committee in the event management committee at my last job, which used to work with the HR, and they planned like Super Fridays, the fun
Nice.
events, and we also plan the outings as well. There we consider everything like taking from budget, managing people's, managing things, props, and everything. So like this is one power which I love. Like I love to connect with people's, and I love management side as well. And talking about the technical power which I have is language being was never a barrier to me, like programming language.
Yep.
So I started with JavaScript in my bachelor's, and then I got a job in as a full stack developer. There I was like introduced to Python, Golang, Java. I was like completely good with all of these things. And doing my master's right now, I was introduced to more languages such as
Yep.
like Rust and cloud technologies as well. So like grabbing these things and the learning curve was quite easy for me every time. And so I love this tech things as well. Like upgrading myself to any of the new technology is like doing a hobby to me.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
languages and people skills. Hey, you can't go
yeah,
wrong
exactly.
there. That's amazing. That's awesome. That's
Right.
awesome. Juvie, how about you?
So I would say that there are two superpowers for me because first is the adaptability. As I said, like I started as a React developer and then I moved my way to full stack developer where I learned about Node.js, MongoDB, Express, and various frameworks. Apart from this, while pursuing master's degree, I also got to know more about Python, Java, Golang, and for instance, Django framework of the Python. So I would say that adaptability is one of my superpowers, and another one is the problem solving. So uh, while I was working as a full stack dev, I used to love solving bugs. I used to love problem solve each and every component that a feature might have. There were some things like there were some performance issues or there were some code issues. I used to solve them all the time, and I used to convey it to my manager as well.
Awesome, awesome. Well, this is a bunch of superpowers right in one room. So the next question I want to ask, and we all start somewhere, right? We all have our very first job, and not necessarily a co-op or maybe an internship. It could be, but what I want to ask each of you, what was the very first thing you did as a job? And how was that? Amit, how about you? What was your first job?
My first job before the full-time job was I was a member of executive committee of this model UN that I used to do.
Yeah.
So in this, like the one interesting thing about is that you get paid to go to a different places. So like
Wow, that's
for
incredible.
that one, so I did chair UNGA, which is United Nations General Assembly. So I was paid like $10,000, which roughly translates to $200 for this Canadian dollars. So yeah, so this one, so I did chair during my undergrad years. I did chair on multiple this committees of UN. One was UNGA, then ECOSOC committees, then And one of the most interesting one is this one, the United Nations Commission on Status of Women. So where I have chaired it, and that was the very first paying check that I got by working these things around. So that was the thing, and all this interest, and also these things was one another interesting aspect about these things that like you get to meet new people
Yeah.
and different perspectives. Or because when it comes to United Nations, people with different nationality comes around, brings up their issues, and try to collaboratively solve a certain problem. So that was the
That
first
is
job that I
really
did.
that's really
Yeah,
cool because the cultures, the collaboration,
Yeah,
understanding where people are coming from, their lived experiences are all different, right?
exactly.
Really cool opportunity. Wow, doesn't compare to my first job, which was scrubbing pots in a restaurant, but okay. Anyways, Juvie, how about you?
So my first job was an intern as a React.js intern. This was my first like official job because earlier I was just studying and giving exams and completing my assignments and all. So as a React.js intern, I was given some tasks like solve some problems in JavaScript or do the React.js
Yeah,
application, like create a React.js application and all. So in that, I was really intrigued because as a corporate employee, not employee, but as a corporate intern, I was introduced to many corporate norms, like how things work, how agile methodologies work, or how we have to collaborate with different teams. And this was really, it was a really great experience. And I got then transferred as a full-time employee as well after that.
that's amazing. Great opportunity there. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Meet, what was your first job?
So like my first job was not my official job. I started my career like earning from the tech world when I was like in third year of my bachelor's. There
Okay.
I started helping the small businesses making their websites or application which can make their work easy.
Yeah.
And then those projects lead to me a front-end developer role in my first job. So initially I was like an intern for like 6 months at my very first job. And then after like I told you like grabbing new things is quite easy for me.
Yeah.
Like it feels more comfortable to me. So like seeing my capabilities by the team lead and other seniors, they offered me at the end of my 6 month internship, like, do you want to upgrade yourself for like more 2 months internship for a full stack developer? And I was like, yes, sure, why not? So then I was from a front end developer, I was like a full stack developer. There I was like working for Spring Boot as a
Yeah.
backend. And for the front end, I was responsible for two frameworks, which was like Vue.js and React.js.
Nice, nice. Awesome. Really cool opportunities you've all been exposed to. And
Yeah.
thanks for sharing. Okay, this is a one-word answer. I know people tend to want to use more than one word, but describe yourself in only one word. Juvie.
I would say versatile.
Versatile? Okay.
Yeah.
Amit.
pragmatic.
Say it one more time.
Pragmatic.
Pragmatic. Okay, yep,
Yeah.
pragmatic. Yep. Meet.
Gratitude.
Gratitude. All right.
Yeah.
There was one word. I know people want to talk more than that, but that's we're sticking to one. All right. So thanks for going through all that. Now what I want to do is I'm going to jump around to a bunch of questions individually to again share your background, share your ideas and your experiences with potential employers watching this podcast, as well as other listeners who really want to understand what is it that you do in tech. So Amit, I'm going to start with you. Can you share an interesting challenge you faced while developing the scalable client-server communication systems and how you overcame it?
In this one, building a client server connection file retrieval system. In this one, the most challenging aspect is that how to maintain multiple concurrent connections without degrading the performance of the system. And to resolve this, I've implemented like threading, load balancing, and a round robin approach to segregate the load evenly
Mm-hmm.
between the multiple server instances, and also efficiently use the resource utilization and the fault tolerance. Because this client server file retrieval system is the premise of this cloud technology. So
Gotcha.
right now, how this cloud system works, it's entirely based on this. So this has been built in C, a Linux-based project, And so that's the most challenging aspect, managing multiple connections using fork statements, threading, and then allocating resources efficiently for these incoming requests to these different instances of the server that we are deployed. So that's the most challenging part, implementing threading and managing the simultaneous connection requests.
Gotcha. Wow.
Mhm.
Well out of my wheelhouse. Like that sounds like something I would be afraid to do, but it sounds like you understand it and mastered it. So Dhruvi, I know transitioned from software development to pursuing your master's degree. Can you tell me what inspired you to go for that additional education?
So while working as a full stack developer, I came across various features, and I was really intrigued with the upcoming technologies that are like evolving continuously. So one day I was just roaming through the basic LinkedIn feed, and I got to know about how master's degree can help a person to achieve and gain more knowledge in while pursuing their career in software development. So I was really intrigued by it, and I was earlier in a MERN stack. I was in a Munstack Tech, but then I shifted my knowledge in Java, then Vue, Rust. Recently, I was so intrigued by Rust programming that I launched and I published a blog in Medium, and I shared it with the LinkedIn family as well. So based on this, I would say that this motivated me to pursue a master's degree in applied computing.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Really interesting journey you've been on there. And Meet, I know you talked about the various different languages, and your curiosity of learning new languages and frameworks has led to, can you share maybe like how those have led to a significant impact in one of your projects where you've leveraged all that?
Yeah, sure. That would be like a great thing I would like to share. So
Sure.
this is one of the great achievement in my career till now. So firstly, I would like to brief what we were building at our company. So we were building a network monitoring system. So
Okay.
which was responsible for, like, you are having a network, right? So
Yep.
it was responsible to monitor each and every device which is there on your network. Say example, you have your laptop and your memory exceeds from like 80%. So our software will tell you like there's something going wrong with your laptop because your memory consumption is really high, right? So this kind of tools which we were making. So there, we used to monitor this devices using multi-threading, and that was completely based on Python and Java previously. And meanwhile, I was learning Go language as a part of my hobby. And there I got to know about the Go routines, which is like multi-threading thing for the Go language. And I was like really shocked because the significant difference which it makes being a multi-threading thing for Java and Python compared to Go, where Go was really good. So I just came to one of my lead and I just shared him like this can have a great capabilities in our software,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So he was like, yes, we can do it. So then we go for R&D, like how we can shift our whole logic to Golang. And then after like 1.5 months, we were completely able to shift our whole logic for monitoring the things from Java and Python to Go. And it really made a great significant difference. So whenever our server was using our software, it consumes around 80 to 70%, 70 to 80% of the CPU consumption.
Yep.
While monitoring. But after like shifting to Go, it was reduced to 10 to 15%. That
Wow.
significant it was. And if you talk about in seconds, it was like previously to fetch one device matrices, it takes around 15 to 20 seconds. But after shifting to Go, it was like 2 or 3 seconds. That's it.
Wow. What an impact.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and then here coming in masters, I was again introduced to Rust, and that too by Dhruvi's post, which was there on LinkedIn. And Rust also has the same capabilities as Go. Like it is really powerful at the core level of computers.
Awesome. Thank you so much, all of you, for sharing a little bit more into your mind and your mindset and what you're working on and things like that. I want to ask right now, maybe a shifting question, then we'll get back is, so academics, school, tech, okay, what do you like to do outside of that? what kind of hobbies do you like? Music? Are you a dancer? What do you do? Sports? I just want to hear from each of you. Just share a little bit of like who you are behind the days you're in school and the days you're at work. What is really what gets you going? Amit, how about you first?
I do like a couple of things.
Good.
So like apart from coding, so even I just try to see if there are any events around like entrepreneurial events. So I just try to go and participate with them and try to see like what can be done. Like recently I was part of this Venture U entrepreneurship pitch competition. So in that we collaborated with 40 people, built one payment system using face detection technology
Yeah.
and pitched to the regional Windsor like investors. And once we pitched it, and we won and an award for it. Like I think it was $500, but still it was good. So like these sort of things I like to do. And if like I also like to do workout. My favorite thing is doing bench press. I'm trying
Good.
to like I'm trying to do a bench press of 220 lb, but right now I'm stuck
Wow.
at like 180.
All
So
right.
I'm trying to working on my technique and see how I can get that thing out of the way. So that's like few things I'm trying to work out right now apart from this.
I love that. I love that. Good for you. Keep it going. Keep it going. How
Yeah,
about
thanks.
me? How about you? What are the things you do outside of academics and school and working?
Like apart from this academic and everything, I kind of like cooking a lot. Like I
Cooking.
love
Right.
to cook, yeah. And being an international, it is one of the most essential skill you have to have.
It
So,
sure is.
and talking about my fitness, I'm not a gym guy to be personal,
Yeah.
but I love cycling and swimming a lot. So like every twice or thrice, once a week, like I go to swimming every day.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Staying in shape. Hey, and with all that cooking, you got to do something, right?
Even I recently like I got a job in like part time at this spot, if you know that. It is a desert restaurant in Windsor. It's quite
Nice.
famous.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, well, maybe we'll do another podcast on cooking with all of you, and we'll see who can make
Yeah,
the
for
best
sure.
who can make the best meal. Dhruvi, how about you? What do you do outside of academics and working and things like that?
Uh, Outside of academic, I would say that I attend a lot of networking events
Yeah,
because I have to connect with new people, new companies, like how the hiring managers are thinking about it or how they are, what kind of candidates they are looking for. So I usually go to the Eventbrite page or meetup
yeah,
websites and look
yeah.
for any networking events that are happening nearby or even Toronto. So I visit there and I get connected with some software devs as well. So I would say it is a kind of hobby for me because I have attended around 6 to 7 networking events till the date. And yeah, this is, mm, yeah,
Cool.
this is the
Yeah.
hobby, you
Do you
can
like
say.
dancing, music, TVs, movies? None of that?
I just binge watch various movie series, like movies
See?
and series.
And CDs. See, so you do
Yeah,
something else outside of the work too with
yeah,
networking.
yeah,
Binge watching. Yes, that is a thing. Absolutely. On
yep.
Netflix or what channel? All channels?
All channels. Like
Okay.
I love Friends and The Big Bang Theory. I
Friends.
watch it a lot.
Friends has come back into like I grew up with Friends. That's dating me. So there you go. But it's still relevant. It's a good show. See, there you go. We learned something
Yep.
about you right there. Friends. All right. I have a quick question for each of you to share. So think about your younger self or someone that's getting into tech. Maybe they're in high school. Maybe they're back in seventh grade. Maybe they're trying to look at their name appearing on the computer like you did, Meet. Like what would you tell young people that want to get into tech, how to pursue that passion? What should they do? Dhruvi, why don't we start with you?
I would say that if my younger self want to pursue a career in computer science earlier, then I would say that I would focus on any one language, basic language like C or C++, and I just clear out my basics. And then if I find it necessary or if I find it more insightful, I would shift to different language like Java, JavaScript based on my ability.
Perfect. Thank you. Great insights, great advice for young people to consider. Amit, how about you?
Younger self. So one thing I would recommend is like whatever you start learning, just do some basics and then compete. Just compete and compete. And You will fail once, twice, or thrice, but fourth time you're gonna win, and then you can keep up the strike, and this gonna be an ultimate winning and winning. And this is what happened with me with model events. I won like lost like 3 or 4 sessions, and then from fourth or fifth one I started winning. There was a streak till 12, like I won like 8 to 9 in a row. And same with the competition hacker ranks. So I started once I graduated from did my bachelor's, then I started doing lead code courses, and then I failed initially, but then I kept up my pace and started winning again. So the one thing that I would recommend is do competition as much as possible. Don't fear about losing or failing. Just focus on the process and trust the process. That's what I recommend.
You know what? First of all, thanks for being vulnerable and sharing the fact that you had a few losses before you got to a win. So many people don't talk about the failures, but that's how you learn. That's how you get better, right? And I think it's so important that we don't just talk about how we won everything. We actually it was a journey to get there, right? And thank you so much. And then look what you're doing now. Like that's amazing. Great advice for young people. Like take a risk, get out there, try it, right? Put yourself out there. All right, cool. Great answer. Meet, how about you? What would you tell some younger kids thinking about getting into
Yeah. So like Dhruvi's and Amit answers were completely like similar to me.
Yeah.
So like I would like to highlight few things. So in it, right now there are a lot of things that are currently going in this computer world, right? Every second or third day you are introduced to any of the new languages or the framework which are really good than the previous ones. And the students right now are being like coping up with every technology possible, and they are trying to learn each and everything which is possible there out, right?
Yeah.
And what that makes the loss is like they can't get to the cores of any of the frameworks or languages. And this was one of the things which I struggled when I was like in my bachelor's. So
Yep.
I was like in the first and second years I was like I don't need to learn this and that everything. But in the third year I was like I know things but I don't know the things properly. So then I shifted to like focusing on one thing. I chose JavaScript and then deep dived into it. So what I would like to say is if you are getting new to this world, pick one thing which you like,
Focus.
get the depth into it. And when you know one thing really deep, then you can learn other things really easily because the core fundamentals of every languages or the frameworks are completely same. Just the language and the syntax changes. And other thing which I would like to highlight, which I personally got to know when I was in my job. So not just being mentally active can help you stay competitive in this world. When I started exercising, like cycling was one of my favorite thing, which I used to do. So when I started that thing, when I was in my job, I observed that after like cycling for 1, 2, or 3 weeks, then my productivity increased. Yeah. So like keep yourself fit, move around, and stick to one thing while learning.
Yeah, mind and body, right? Like they go together.
Yeah.
Great advice. And I'm with you. I hear you. You got to get out, get some walks in, get some fresh air. So this has been such a fantastic conversation with all three of you. I want to ask one final question that I think as we're getting going on this, talking about, as I told you, employers wanting to know, well, if I hire you, what are you going to bring to my organization, or what are you going to bring to us that makes you stand out? And I think this is a question that obviously each of you will answer your own way, but think about what is it? What it makes you special and would be great for them to think about hiring you. So why don't we start with Amit?
Like the one thing that I bring to the table, like if an organization hire me, is that because the one challenge the organization faces that in order to onboard a resource, they have to train it, and for that period of time, it is a liability. But right now, the skill set that we have and the various projects that we have built and the multiple languages and the frameworks that we have the potential to be an asset from the day one they on board. So that's the one thing I bring to the table, and the track record of proven consistency that I have shown in my past experience, or whether in academic projects or the total GPA hold. It gives the evidence that I do have the potential to be an asset.
Yep.
And from the day one, they onboard me onto their teams.
Awesome. So both the
Yeah.
experiences you've had plus your academics and your dedication, great things that you would bring to the table. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Dhruvi, how about you? What would you think about you if you had an employer right here, what would you tell them?
So I would tell, like, if an employer is there, then I would say that I would be a best fit for the job because I bring to the table technical skills as well as the collaborative skills as well, because in tech world we all know that communication holds a uh, key
Big time.
necessity. Like, yeah, you should be able to convey and to communicate with other people, other department. And based on my prior experience, I do have a good amount of experience in that, and I also led few projects in my work experience as well as while pursuing my master's degree. I led all the projects that I was in. And yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, big human skills are just as important today as tech skills, right? You have to be able to communicate, to share, to collaborate, to listen, to understand. So great opportunities there. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit more about what you would give for an employer. And me, we'll end with you on this question. What are you going to bring to the, I know cycling, but what else are you going to bring to the office?
The main thing I can bring something to a company which can be really valuable and being a asset for them is my adaptability and collaborative thing. For collaborative, as I have already mentioned, like I was working with an HR team, so like I was one of the few picked guys who can work with as a committee member.
Yeah.
So like there I explored management thing as well, and apart from that, adaptability, which lead to me as an promotion in my previous job as well. Like being a front-end developer, I was exposed to full stack developer and extending my internship for more 2 months, which lead to my career with many more things and many more technologies as well. So yeah, I can bring adaptability, like whatever stack you are using, whatever language you are using, that's fine. Just give me 1 or 2 weeks, I'm good with that.
Good. Awesome. All three of you. First of all, I'm going to say, like, congratulations for doing your first podcast.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for being on this, because for those that are listening to this podcast, I put this thing out on LinkedIn earlier in the week, and these three stepped up as a couple of their other classmates to share their stories, to talk about it, jump out of their comfort zone, get on a podcast with this guy, Brian. They have no idea who he is, right? And like talk about these things. So I want to say thank you so much for all of you for taking that initiative and being part of the conversation today. And it's been a pleasure getting to know you more, and I can't wait to see what happens and where you guys go with your careers.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dan, for this wonderful session.
You're welcome. You're welcome. For the listeners, if you like what you heard today, first of all, share this podcast on Spotify with your friends, wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on Google Plays, everywhere. Follow Coffee with Convery on Instagram, please. That's where we have all our episodes to help you as young people navigate your careers. Also, check out these students right here that we brought out today. Follow them, link up with them on LinkedIn. You know, if you got a great opportunity in a job this fall that you're looking for some of this great talent that's here today, reach out to them. They'd love to hear from you. This has been Coffee with Convery, and until next time, please stay well.